The teams for MCC 24 were just announced, and today I'm going to be going over each team, giving an analysis of each one. This video is part 1, and I'm showcasing red to green, with an in-depth analysis of each team. I will show my full and final predictions in part 2, which you are watching on the day of release will come out very soon. Also, subscribing supports the channel, so consider hitting that button. Anyways, let's get right into it. Starting off with the Red Rabbits, this team consists of Purple, Captain Puffy, WilburSoot, and Ranboo. Looking at this team, it seems pretty cracked. In a normal event, I can see this team dominating and even taking the crown, but in this event being so powerful in terms of teams, it might be more challenging for them. I really like the team combos this team has to offer. We have Purple and Puffy who teamed together in MCC 20, and we have Ranboo and Purple who have teamed multiple times before. All of these four go pretty perfectly together, and I feel like the comms on this team will be cracked. Games that Red wants to play late are to get to the other side, Sands of Time, and Hole in the Wall. To get to the other side is their statistical best game, being carried mostly by Purple's insane average at it. Averages aside, I can see this team stealing tons of team bonuses, and even maybe taking first place. Sands of Time is their statistical second best game, being only one coin behind to get to the other side, with Wilbur being a cracked Sandkeeper, and the only three being pretty solid runners. I can see this team doing really well in it. Let's just hope Purple doesn't tunnel vision again. Hole in the Wall is their third statistical best game. They're all really solid Hole in the Wall players, except Puffy, who seems to struggle a bit in it. However, Ranboo does very well in Hole in the Wall, so it could be potentially Red's best game. Some games that they probably want to skip are Survival Games and Rocket Sleep Rush. Survival Games comes in as this team's worst game. All of them struggle in Survival Games except for Puffy, who does around average. Rocket Sleep Rush is another decently bad game for this team, but overall they do a little under average in it, so it's not the end of the world if it's played late. On the Orange Ocelots are H-Bomb, Tubbo, Tommy, and Jack. This team is extremely busted and would absolutely dominate in a normal event. However, this isn't even the best team of the event in my opinion, which shows how strong of an event MCC 24 is. The vibe of this team will be incredible, with H-Bomb coming into the role of the dad on this team. We also have the beloved trio of Tommy, Tubbo, and Jack. Games that Orange wants to play late are Rocket Sleep Rush, Sky Battle, and Survival Games. Rocket Sleep Rush is their best game, with Tubbo being absolutely insane at it, and H-Bomb who is really solid at it. Tommy and Jack struggle a bit, but with Tubbo and H-Bomb, they can definitely perform better in it. Next is Sky Battle. With all of them being really good at it, and Tommy being insane at it, I can see a guaranteed pop-off from this team in Sky Battle. Survival Games is another good one for them, with once again, all of them being solid at it, and Tommy being able to successfully call all of the shots. Some games they don't do as well in are Parkour Tag and Build Mart. They are still good at both of these games, which means that they are a pretty good team overall. But they might score a little lower in these two. Parkour Tag is statistically their worst game. Only Tommy is above average at it, H-Bomb being around average, and Jack and Tubbo usually struggling in it. They should try to get it out of the way early. Build Mart seems like a massive weakness for this team, but statistically, they're all around average at it, with H-Bomb performing better than average, so it won't be terrible if it's played late. The fact that Orange genuinely has no weaknesses is amazing. On the Yellow Yaks are Dream, Bad Boy Halo, Skeppy, and GeorgeNotFound. We have the Dream Not Found duo and the Skep Boy Halo duo, so this team will definitely be an interesting one. This team is honestly really good, with Skeppy finally coming back into the event. This time with some redemption from the last event all the way back in MCC 14. I can tell Dream is going to make Skeppy grind this MCC, and hopefully Skeppy can make top 20 this time around. This team's best games are To Get to the Other Side, Sands of Time, and Parkour Tag. With To Get to the Other Side, we all know that Dream is very good at it, being one of the best. Some may not know, but in MCC 14, Skeppy did really well in To Get to the Other Side, getting 8th in his first event. With this team, I could see them getting tons of team bonuses, maybe resulting in Skeppy getting top 5 in it. Also, George is really good at it, and Bad is around average, so this team will dominate it. With Sands of Time, we are going to have to see Dream lead the team to victory as usual. Dream, Bad, and George are all good at Sands of Time, with Skeppy never playing it before. I don't think they're going to need to worry about Skeppy not playing it, because Dream is going to teach Skeppy the ropes about it. And for Parkour Tag, their averages relies a lot on Dream, but the others aren't too bad either. Bad is a little under average, and George and Skeppy are average at it, so I can still see this team popping off. Some games this team may struggle with are the obvious Build Mart, Rocket Sleep Rush, and Hole in the Wall. With Build Mart, they need this game skipped. Like most Dream teams, Build Mart is a train wreck for them, with none of them being good at it. They all stoop far below the average in Build Mart, with the closest being Dream himself. In Rocket Sleep Rush, only Dream does well, but he is very good at it. being one of the best. Skeppy's never played it before, which is never a good sign for a game like this, where knowing the mechanics is the main key to success. Bad and George surprisingly do quite far below average as well, so I would hope they try to skip this game. Finally, Hole in the Wall. Once again, Dream is actually good at Hole in the Wall, being quite far above the average. George also does quite well on it, but the reason they should skip it is because of Bad and Skeppy. They both do far below the average, but Skeppy's only played it once, so he could have just underperformed in it. And the Lime Llamas are Kratzy, Shovel, Smajor, and Seapeekay. I have absolutely no idea how a team this broken is allowed at MCC. Looking at the surface of this team, it has literally no weaknesses. Kratzy and Seapeekay carry in PvP and movement, and Smajor and Shovel carry in team games. Also, the combos on this team are really fun, so I'm expecting a fun POV out of this team. Some games that Lime wants to play later are Ace Race, Hole in the Wall, and Battle Box. Ace Race is statistically their best game, mostly because of Kratzy, Seapeekay, and Smajor, usually placing top 15. Shovel struggles a bit in it, but it doesn't really change much in terms of score. In Hole in the Wall, they are all very solid players, with Kratzy and Seapeekay doing especially well in it. Maybe we could see Kratzy and Seapeekay surviving the end of a round together. For Battle Box, Kratzy performs far over average in it, being able to perfectly lead teams to victory. Seapeekay is also quite far above an average, and is a really skilled PvPer. Major does a bit above average, and Shovel does a bit below average, so it balances out. Some games that Lime might want to skip are Rocket Sleeve Rush and Sands of Time. I can still see this team doing really well in these games though, even though these games are some of their statistical worst. In Rocket Sleeve Rush, Kratzy and Shovel struggle quite a bit in it, getting a bit below the average. Smajor and Seapeekay are quite good at it though, getting above the average, so it wouldn't be that bad if they played it later. For Sands of Time, once again, Kratzy and Shovel struggle at this game, getting a bit under average. Smajor is quite good at it though, getting far above the average, and Seapeekay gets around average. On the Green Geckos are 5-Up, Tapple, Orion Sound, and Gemini Tay. This team is an interesting one, being able to really place anywhere. If 5-Up creates an amazing strategy for this team, and if Tapple pops off again, this team could definitely do very well. I see lots of people underestimating this team, and I feel like they can definitely do well if they get a good game order and some practice. The combos on this team are really fun as well, especially Ollie and Gem, who just met up in real life a while ago. Some games Green wants to play later are Sands of Time and Buildmart. In Sands of Time, 5-Up and Gem are pretty far above the average in it, Tapple is a bit above average, and Ollie is basically average, so I can definitely see a pop-off from this team in this game. For Buildmart, 5-Up and Gem perform far above the average, and Tapple and Ollie perform a bit under, so overall they are pretty good at it. 5-Up is a great Buildmart leader, who I think can lead the team to success in Sands of Time. Some games that Green wants to skip are Ace Race, Hole in the Wall, and Survival games. With Ace Race, only Tapple is a real standout player, while the other three fall quite below average, except for 5-Up who is around close to average. For Hole in the Wall, Tapple performs a little above average, 5-Up and Ollie do around average, and Gem performs below average. So while it wouldn't be terrible for this game to be played late, I feel like they may struggle due to the fact that most other teams are good at it. For Survival games, Tapple does around average, 5-Up and Gem are a bit below average, and Ollie really struggles in it. I feel like this team doesn't really stand much of a chance in flat-out PvP compared to most other teams, so they might be picked off early. If they play safe and smart, they could potentially clutch a win though. And that's it for my first 5 MCC team analysis. Once again, if you are watching on the day of release, part 2 is out very soon. Consider joining the Discord for some sneak peeks at future uploads and just hanging out. The link is in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.